Guys, welcome to Black Scout Survival Late Night Live. Thanks for tuning in. So let me just first off start off by saying that Trump almost is assassinated and still gets off stage better than Joe Biden. So last night we had some information about the shooter. It was the wrong name. There was lots of information coming out, and we were just trying to get information out. But the guy we named last night, Mark Vitrol or whatever his name was, is not the shooter. The real shooter has been identified as Thomas Matthew Crooks, and he has three names, just like Lee Harvey Oswald. You ever notice that like all the shooters have three names? The MK Ultra shooters, you know. So many got it wrong. It just wasn't me. Many people did. I've seen tons of people posting the same information that I did as well last night. But we'll talk about that in a second. But one big one was this. The gunman believed to have been attempted assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump Saturday was shot and killed by Secret Service sources told the Post. The shooter, identified as a Chinese man, was in a sniper position. So this was the New York Post. They reported initially that it was a Chinese man, and then they changed it and later to a white man without addressing or anything. So again, it said the shooter identified as a Chinese man was in a sniper position located hundreds of yards away from the Trump podium in Butler, Pennsylvania. Now, one thing I posted on Instagram, if you're not following me there, go follow me there. But the guy was wearing a Demolition Ranch t-shirt. That's a YouTuber, and he does lots of gun things. And he had a Demolition Ranch shirt on at the event. Now, he was a registered Republican, quote unquote, but most likely because in Pennsylvania you have to register to vote in the primary, and he probably wanted to throw a vote towards Nikki Haley to try to beat out Donald Trump during the primaries. Is what I believe. Now, he did donate to Act Blue $15. It was also later reported that he had explosives in his car. Now, explosives to me would be for the crowd. Thank God he didn't get to use those, because it would have been terrible, a terrible tragedy. I mean, it was already a tragedy, but it would have been worse. Now, it's also been reported that he used his father's rifle, an AR-15. Don't know what make or model. I'd venture to say Daniel Defense. It had just been purchased 6 months prior. And I'm saying Daniel Defense because that's what all the shooters wind up using for some reason. Maybe because that's what the FBI usually buys. I don't know. But he had no criminal record and no online presence. He worked at a nursing home. Now, let's consider a few things, okay? Let's first off consider that the Secret Service is not compromised. And I'm going to go very in-depth because some things just came out about this, okay? So let's just say they're not compromised. But the shooter was able to reach an elevated position with a rifle 140 yards from the stage, killing one innocent person and injuring others, including Donald Trump. You can see the counter sniper team position there. You see the shooter position. Just 390 feet. Even an amateur marksman can make this shot with iron sights. This is a roof with a direct sight line to the stage. It was not secured by Secret Service. Now, could this be extreme negligence? Or could it be something worse? And that's what I'm going to question you. So the other thing is that the FBI reported that they didn't see the shooter until shots fired. That was an absolute lie. Because what we know is that an officer made it to the roof prior to the shooting. You see this Not long before shots rang out, rally goers noticed a man climbing to the roof of a nearby building and warned local police, according to two law enforcement officials. One local police officer climbed to the roof and encountered Crooks, who pointed his rifle at the officer. The officer then retreated down the ladder, and Crooks quickly took shots towards Trump. And that's when Secret Service snipers shot him. So they were ignoring warnings from the crowd about this man with a gun aimed at the president. He carried a ladder to use over here. How this got completely by is mind-boggling, to say the least. And the shooter was able to occupy a building not covered. Why was it not covered? Right? All elevated positions should be covered. He was able to get shots off before he was neutralized and before he could be interrogated. Right? I'm just playing devil's advocate for a little bit. Right? And I kind of want your commentary. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about these things? Like I showed you here, Trump shooter was rejected from the high school rifle team. Apparently, he was such a bad shot that he was rejected. So let's just say that it was a lone wolf. Let's just say that. Let's just believe it was a lone wolf. And could it be because of the dangerous rhetoric that's been said about Donald Trump? Right? Biden had just posted this last week. I have one job, and that's to beat Donald Trump. I'm absolutely certain I'm the best person to be able to do that. So we're done talking about the debate. It's time to put Trump in a bullseye. What is a bullseye? Yeah, could it be the dangerous rhetoric? Could it be this type of rhetoric here?
Importantly, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, Trump is a threat to this nation.
I mean, they villainize Trump. They've even gone so far to say he's Hitler. He's a threat to our nation. What do you think Americans think whenever you say this is a threat? This individual is a threat to our nation, to our freedom, these sort of things. Last week, Hillary Clinton alleged that Trump intends to kill his opposition and imprison his opposition and drive journalists and others into exile. Last week, the U.S. House Democrats introduced a Denying Infinite Security and Government Resources Allocated Toward Convicted and Extremely Dishonorable Former Protectees Act. This would remove the Secret Service protection from Trump just last week if he's convicted of a felony. And I told you guys a few months ago, I did a whole video about this. Democrats tried to strip Trump's Secret Service protection just months before assassination attempt. So doesn't that seem odd? You're trying to strip his Secret Service detail, and then he has an assassination attempt. But again, 2 weeks ago, Joe Biden said Donald Trump is a threat, genuine threat to this nation. He's a threat to our freedom. He's a threat to democracy. He's literally a threat to everything America stands for. So whenever you tell someone who's deranged this sort of thing, what do you think is going to happen? Villainizing, right? Balkanizing. Now, let's talk about the Secret Service. So the Secret Service has gotten a lot of flack over the last 24 hours. Rightfully so. Because if you didn't know this, they have mandated DEI. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, if you notice, let's play the video here. Lots of females in Secret Service. Now, me just being a man, if I'm calling someone to save me, I want it to be a big, strong man. I'm just going to tell you like it is. I'm not wanting to call a 5'4" woman to come save me. It's just not what I want. I want a dude bigger than me, tougher than me to come save me, right? You've seen how they fumbled to get, they look distraught. They don't know what they're doing. They struggle to get their pistols in the holsters. Now, just seeing how many women are even there is crazy. You see this one ducking down as the shots are fired, not protecting the president. You know, they're not, she's not huddling around the president. She's trying to protect herself. Let me see here. I mean, how is she supposed to shield the president? The president's over 6 foot tall. She looks like she might be 5'3". DEI security detail. Now, the very strange thing that just got reported maybe an hour ago is that the agents, all the agents except for one, are temps. There was one permanent agent there, the special agent in charge, whose last name was Kern. He was the only permanent agent there. The rest of them were temporary agents. And you may say, why? Well, Jill Biden actually had a visit in Pittsburgh on the same day. And so she had his rally, because his Secret Service has been working around the clock. They've been working 7 days a week. So, and then they pulled the remaining to guard Jill Biden, who's the first lady. And they allocated Trump temporary agents. Now, this just so happens to be the day that an assassination attempt takes place. The day he has temporary agents is the day that an assassination attempt takes place. Strange, right? Here's a shot from a rifle at the building, Secret Service rifle here. So the counter sniper team, let's talk about that. They were only granted the day prior. The counter sniper team was only granted to this rally the day prior. Now, that's not giving them enough time to do a proper survey, right? And only one counter sniper team. The size area that it was at, being in an open area, should have had more sniper teams. Now, just some oddities, some strange things happened this day that led up to this. We've talked about MK Ultra in the past. We know Lee Harvey Oswald wasn't the guy. We've seen the rhetoric from the left. Could it be possibly an inside job? That's my question. That's why the title says inside job question mark. Now, Thomas Crook was a young guy, and he actually was just in a commercial a year ago with BlackRock. BlackRock, the evil BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. They pretty much rule everything. This is him here. This is in the commercial. I don't want to play the commercial because I'm sure they'd probably try to use that to take the video down. But that was him in the commercial. Now, listen to this.
Telling Fox they believe the shooter acted alone. We're also learning that they can't get into his cell phone. They have it at Quantico, but haven't been able to get any data out of it. Backman now is still.
Do what? You can't get into our government can't get into this 20-year-old's cell phone? But they're tracking all these conservatives? Using Patriot Act 2.0? But they can't crack this guy's cell phone. I wonder why. Is it because the CIA had encryption on it? Now, the other thing, the FBI field office in Pittsburgh is leading this investigation. Guess what else they also did? They led the investigation on Hunter Biden's shady business dealings and was also involved in the probe of Jim Biden's AmeriCorps deal. And nothing came of that. We know the DOJ is corrupt. They don't even try to hide it anymore. And that's who's investigating this. And they can't get into the cell phone. Oh, gee willikers. Daggum. The biggest thing is, man, if you go through this, and lots of people talk about this, the methods to try to destroy someone, they try to destroy your character, financially, they put you in prison, these sort of things. So they've tried to bankrupt Donald Trump. They've tried to slander him. They've tried to imprison him. Now they try to kill him. They've tried the lone crazy gunman, and they won't try that one again. That one failed, so we got to try something else. I don't believe they're going to give up the power of what they have. They're not going to give it up. So what will they try now? Could it be false flags, civil unrest, martial law? Could it be World War III? I've been saying for months that they were going to do this to Donald Trump. A year. Go watch my videos. I've been saying it almost constantly. I've been saying this. And my predictions typically have been pretty spot on. Yeah, I might have got the guy's name wrong last night because that's what was reported. Now, whatever I report that's reported, but my predictions are rarely wrong. This is not going to be the last thing. This is not, they're not going to like, oh, we give up. Not a chance. Not a chance. And unfortunately, a retired firefighter lost his life trying to shield his family in this event. Tragic. They've got GoFundMe, so I definitely recommend that. You know, someone said the next bird flu lockdown. I don't think it's too late for that. But things just definitely don't smell right to me. Do I have proof? No, but I always tell you this. I always say this. I always say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I've lived my life by that. And typically, that's been a good way for me to live it. Because when there's smoke, there's always fire. I am a survival guy. Daggone Blue Dragon gifted 50 memberships. Incredible, brother. Thank you. Join the tribe if you haven't. You need it more than ever now. Blue Dragon, thanks again, brother. Very fishy. Needs to be investigated. What does Trump do to protect himself? You know, the thing is like I always say, man, I always say this, that you got to be your own hero because no one's coming to save you. Even Donald Trump. You got to be your own hero. And you need to live your life by that. Anyway, guys, I want to know your thoughts on this. To me, it stinks. It just too many inconsistencies. Could be all coincidental, and I'm just tenfold hatting. But where's your smoke, there's fire. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. And remember, stay frosty, stay strapped, and always stay dangerous because nobody's coming to save you. Take care.